right, folks. Another episode of the Vinyl Hustle coming at you. And it's going to be a good one, I think. We got a lot to talk about. And a lot not to talk about, right, Scott? That we thought we had to talk about, but everything's getting canceled, so it's like, why do local concert calendar when everybody's canceling everything?
Very true, yes. And I don't really want to talk about the coronavirus, so I'm just going to say we're just going to skip the concert calendar a little bit and go on with the show.
That's perfect.
Sounds good.
That's perfect.
But we have Mr. Jack Grelle, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
we went through that too when we interviewed him at Lou Fest. We were like, is it Grelle, Grelle?
Yeah.
I've been getting it since first days of school.
Have you? Well,
Really? Yeah, I think I would have said Grelle right away.
Yeah.
But somebody corrected
We'll
me.
just stick to Jack. How about that?
Yes.
That'll work a little bit better.
Yeah. So we got a couple new releases to talk about, and then we'll be getting to Jack's new album. And the album is called If Not Forever.
Aha.
Yes, coming out this Friday, March 20th.
Very nice.
So the first new release that we're featuring is the first collaboration from brothers Brian and Roger Eno.
Wow.
It's the first thing they've done together. It's an anthology of sonic inspiration. It's called Mixing Colors.
Nice.
It says it invites listeners into a prismatic world of calm contemplation.
Wow.
I like that. I guess they do a lot of ambient music, both of them do.
Yeah,
so they've kind of come together on this, which is pretty cool. It says that the album is based on a series of deliberately abstract colors. The innovative brothers evolved the new recording into a unique collection over the years. So it's been, they've been doing this for a couple of years now, getting the songs together and stuff. So it's not something that just came about.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah. But it is their debut. They say they think it will reach an audience still unfamiliar with their artistry. Next is Baxter Dury, the Night Chancers. Not too familiar with this guy. The album was produced by him, Dury, and longtime collaborator Craig Silvey, who did other bands like Arcade Fire, John Grant, and Arctic Monkeys.
Love Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, totally. I love Arcade Fire.
Yeah, they're good too.
It's a 10-song gaze into the black hours and characters and behaviors that swirl around within them.
I tell you what, these descriptions of these albums nowadays, we've had like literally the last 7 shows we've done. There's always some grandiose description of the music.
Yeah,
that's cool though.
Yeah, a lot of the like newer ones are like, we came from outer space and we're taking over.
Pretty soon we're gonna have one that's just gonna say rock and roll.
Yes. I would be okay with that. Yeah.
You don't have anything
That's coming later.
like epic prepared? Oh, Jack, come on, man.
Yeah, so check out Baxter Dury and Brian Eno and Roger Eno. Those albums coming out this Friday, March 20th.
Both sound like great albums.
Yes. And then the other one is, in addition to your local release, is another local release, but actually came out last week, March 13th, but we just got them in the store. It's the Potomac Accord. Let Me Get Lost. And so they've been around for a while. You know them? Have you played a show with them?
I've seen the name, but everywhere I've gone to hang flyers, their flyers already been there.
Really?
They're a step ahead of me.
Yeah. I feel like we've had one in the window for a while. But they just brought the album in.
Awesome.
It looks very cool. It's Andy Ben and Jerry Green founded the band, and then they added Joe Willis, who plays guitar and bass. They've been experimenting with rhythmic, melodic textures through added synthesizers and instrumental and vocal effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of bands are doing that nowadays, especially with synthesizers. Like, that's, I guess back when I was, I don't know. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I guess back when I was a teenager or so, there was kind of a resurgence in synthesizer music. One band that sticks out in particular was the Rentals, which was the guy from Weezer.
Yeah.
And he used a lot of Moogs, whatever you want to call them, which is basically a synthesizer. But I find like a lot of bands are doing that now.
I love a good synthesizer.
Yeah.
They're doing 2 release shows, which I thought was kind of fun.
Dang.
The vinyl release show is March 19th at the St. Louis Central Library.
That's
and then
cool.
the CD release show is at the Schlafly Tap Room on April 4th.
I'm sure you can get the vinyl at the CD release too.
Probably.
If you want it.
Considering we already have it, I think so.
Awesome.
And next we'll be moving on to St. Louis's own, but world famous,
Whoa.
Jack Grelle.
Look at this guy. We're scared already.
The new album is If Not Forever, and you'll be doing a large album release show at Off Broadway on March 20th. Correct?
Nice.
Plan.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be a big
Still
one.
a go. It's still on.
Today it's still on.
As far as we know.
All right.
It's still on, yeah.
All right.
I like it. So
Advised otherwise, so.
yeah. So this is the vinyl hustle. So I guess the first question I have is, do you by chance collect vinyl or have a music collection at home?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm not like a super serious vinyl collector, but
Yeah.
I probably have maybe 200.
Oh man,
That's probably
pretty-
what I have at home too.
pretty serious. I think-
Maybe that's a generous number.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, definitely. I mean, it's my preferred medium.
Sure.
Awesome.
Music for sure.
Yeah, and the new album will be coming out on vinyl, correct?
On vinyl, CD,
Vinyl and
all
CD.
streaming services available.
Oh yeah,
Very
yeah,
nice.
cool. Yeah, I noticed you were doing a pre-sale for the vinyl and CDs.
Yeah.
Looks like the vinyl is $25 and the CD is $16. So you can go ahead and order that and they'll ship it to you, correct?
Shipped right to your door.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, you can do that at, you can PayPal for jackgrelle@gmail.com.
And now I have it on just at jackrelly.com. You can just buy it, just like anything else.
From the website.
Totally.
Do you find at your shows that more people buy vinyl or CDs?
It kind of depends. Since some of the stuff I do is a bit more in the traditional country realm.
Yes.
I'll have some of an older crowd at times.
Okay.
And that crowd will buy more CDs.
Yep.
Okay.
Which it's kind of the debate of, do you even still print CDs?
Right.
But there still will be people that buy CDs or sending them to radio stations and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Then it's just real cheap and easy to do that. But the vinyl does well. I mean, it's nickel and dime. 'Cause the more you print, the cheaper it is.
Right. Oh yeah.
So when you get all those boxes at first, you're like, oh man, you ever get rid of all these?
It's gonna be hard.
But
Yeah.
So no, I definitely encourage it if you got the means to do so, and if you're going to be an active band or musician, for sure.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
That's good advice. Okay, so you got the big show at Off Broadway, and then it seems like that's like the only show in the States, and then you're heading right over to Europe. Is that correct?
That's the plan, but it's not looking good right now.
Yeah.
I know we're not talking about it, but
Yeah.
I've been emailing everybody over there, and no decision, nothing's been made, but as of now, it's not looking too good.
Well, it seems like you tour Europe a lot. Is that correct? You've been over there 3 times?
3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times. That's
I
awesome.
think maybe 4 times. I've been very fortunate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you notice a big difference between
Yeah.
audiences there and here in the States?
That's what I was gonna ask.
It varies show to show, town to town, country to country. I'll play at a record store in the corner like this at 2 in the afternoon, and in Oviedo, Spain or something, and then in Berlin I've played like a swing dancing event that's at like this 6th floor of some building that's just like a smoking lounge.
Wow.
And then I've been fortunate I did a tour opening Pokey Lafarge over there.
Oh, nice.
Played like huge theaters, and nobody's there for me. That was a Pokey thing.
That's okay.
Yeah. But still.
So it really varies,
Yeah.
like really casual and intimate to, as far as my own shows, just modest-sized clubs.
Yeah.
But there's definitely like a consistent, just like interest in music, coming from the United States, and
Yeah.
specifically like more traditional, like country or Americana or whatever.
Yeah. And yeah, I've noticed that in Europe it's mostly, they're really interested in the traditional roots, blues, jazz, gospel. So I used to sell records, like old 78s, like
cool.
1930s, 1940s, and half of our customers were in Germany, England, all those places, and they love it. In Japan too.
Yeah.
They really buy it.
Oh, yeah.
Have you toured in Japan?
No,
that
I
would be
love
awesome.
to.
Yeah. So let's move on to the new album.
Sure.
says that you recorded some of the songs here on Cherokee Street, but primarily at a Jam Deck recording studio with Cooper Crane.
Yes.
Is there a reason you went there specifically to work with Cooper?
Yeah, so Cooper's an old friend from Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
And he's in the band Cave and Bitchin' Bajas. Speaking of synthesizers, Bitchin' Bajas.
Yeah.
Old analog synths. They did a collaboration with Bonnie Prince Billy, and
really?
Cooper's just kind of like
Nice.
a vibe guy, kind of guru head that's involved with a lot of different music. And, so I've known him for a long time and always have wanted to work with him, and always kind of looked up to what he does. And I was kind of shopping around for maybe like a producer with this record, and kind of hit some walls. And a friend was like, "Man, you should work with Cooper." And me and him had talked about it in the past, and maybe doing more of like a psychedelic country record.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a bit more of his wheelhouse. And
Cool.
so I hit him up, and first thing he said was like, "Oh, is this that psychedelic country record?" And it's like, it's not quite. It's in that it's a step in that direction, but not quite there. But I wanted to work with somebody that doesn't typically do just like straight up honky tonk records. I wanted to just change it up and kind of a fresh approach, and it was great. I mean, the guy's a pro, and was just so patient and easy to work with, knows his gear and amps and everything real well, and that's really what I wanted, somebody that's like, "Oh no, you should play this guitar out of this amp." I wanted somebody helping with that stuff. And so he wasn't hands-on at all as far as song structure or even really like what instrumentation, but he was way more hands-on with what gear and specifically the mixing process. He was like really thorough.
Just getting the sound, right?
I mean, he would go into his headphones for an hour and a half just for like, the bass tone in one part of the song.
Wow,
It was
that's
wild.
amazing. Yeah.
I was like, I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs and like, all right. Cool.
I'm glad you have such attention to detail.
Yeah.
That's what you pay for. That's awesome. Well, you mentioned the string quartet on the new album, and it said you also had some horns on that album.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of a different direction than
Sure.
your older albums.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the differences in this album and why you decided to go in that direction?
Sure. It's not this. None of the songs really. There's maybe one or two. One specifically that maybe gives a nod to more classic honky tonk, but the rest of it's a bit more rock and roll. And then there's these ballads that, the records I was listening to at the time. I was really into that Leonard Cohen record, New Skin for an Old Ceremony.
Sure.
And there's
Great.
just those really beautiful kind of avant-garde horns at times.
Yes,
and
that's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, and so I wanted to go that direction on a couple of the ballads with the horns, of not a soul section, not a jazz section, but this more kind of avant-garde thing.
Yeah.
So my friend Rob Fry, who actually is in Cave and Bitchin' Bajas with Cooper, he's from St. Louis originally, lives in Chicago, and he arranged horns for those and
cool.
played on those and got some other guys in. And then the strings was kind of a similar thing. I think that record was a big one for some of the ballads as far as influence of production. And so Sarah V arranged the horns, a string quartet for two of the songs.
Okay.
And both of those songs just kind of, the theme in the songs, I really wanted it to move. I really wanted to drive it home, and strings can just be so powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Emotional.
Universal and emotional.
Yeah, they say pulling at your strings for a reason.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. We've been able to replicate that live a few times now, and we'll do that next Friday or
Awesome,
20th.
yeah. I was going to ask
And,
So you'll have the strings there. Will you have the horns there
No
also?
horns.
No, okay.
No horns.
Yeah,
No
that
horns.
makes sense.
That's
yeah.
too much.
One of the songs we replaced it with strings live. But
okay.
But
Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited. And the way you're
great.
describing the horns, I really want to hear that.
Yes.
It sounds really cool.
Thanks.
And then the opener on Friday night is Dusk.
Yeah.
And they're traveling down. Are they traveling down specifically for this show? They're from Wisconsin, is that right?
Appleton, Wisconsin.
Appleton, Wisconsin. And then you also have the guys from Dead Wax Records, Spinning Records.
Exactly.
That's very awesome.
And so, Dead Wax will be spinning, and then Switchgrass Spirits, a new whiskey company in town that distills their own whiskey.
What? I never heard of this.
Oh, really?
They just released their first whiskey, which is a Rock and Rye. So it's a younger whiskey.
Okay.
And so that's like a pre-made pre-bottled cocktail with rock candy, and it's the Prohibition era recipe. So it was a loophole during Prohibition that it was medicinal because it had the plant of the herb horehound in it.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Sounds medicinal.
right, yeah. And so they're going to do a tasting from 7 to 8 at doors.
Dang.
Free whiskey tasting while the wax is spinning. So even more of like, come out early, come outdoors, get some free whiskey, listen to some great vinyl. And dusk will start at 8.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's
All right.
awesome.
So doors at 7, dusk at 8.
Sounds great.
And how much is it to get in the door? I didn't write it down.
I think it's 10 in advance, 12 at the door.
Awesome.
Can't beat it.
Nothing at all. That's
Can't beat
great.
that. And you get a free couple sips of whiskey,
For a
probably.
couple sips of whiskey.
That's true. That's $10 right
That's
there.
$10 right
Worth
there,
it.
yeah.
We might even have some vinyl T-shirt specials and stuff going on.
Oh,
too.
Jack, stop now. Come on now. That's too much.
So buy more. It's cheaper.
They're enticing us. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the Vinyl Hustle.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, please pick up Jack's new album.
Do it.
And go to the album release show for
Yes.
If Not Forever.
Yes.
We just got a couple more things to talk about. Our re-release of the week isn't really a re-release. It's kind of a new thing, but it's Def Leppard, the early years, and it's not even vinyl. It's all CD.
Oh, really?
Man, yeah, I'm going rogue.
Surprised it's not all cassette.
Yeah, right. It's a 5 CD set. Featuring their early years, 1979 to 81, represents the band's first 2 albums, On Through the Night and High and Dry. It has been prepared in conjunction with singer Joe Elliott as executive producer on the set.
Wow.
It consists of original albums remastered, B-side rarities, remix versions. I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
Radio 1 sessions, live from reading, and the first ever appearance of an unreleased and newly mixed show from Oxford in 1980.
Wow.
So if you're a big Def Leppard fan, that's something you've never heard before.
And I think this is 2 arms drumming.
Oh, really?
Right?
Was
Yeah.
it before that
I
happened?
think that was after all this.
Really?
Right? Wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Because that was on their big, like, on their come up, like when they had Hysteria and all that. I don't know.
Yeah.
This guy probably
Nick,
knows.
you know?
When did
He
when
wasn't
did
even paying attention.
when did Def Leppard go 1 arm? Wasn't that in mid '80s?
I think so.
Yeah. So this is 2 arm.
This is serious.
Was it?
Before
Okay.
Hysteria. Okay,
there
so
you
you're
go.
right. Through
There
the
you
night
go.
and High and Dry.
There you
yeah.
go.
So, yeah. Everybody's like, 2-arm drummer, never mind. It's not very impressive.
Forget it.
And then lastly, we're doing, instead of just picking one record for the bargain pick of the week I
Yeah.
did this week, we're actually doing a whole spring cleaning sale.
And
So
pay
you
it-
should come down
Yeah.
the next day.
Pay attention because this is a great deal.
Yeah,
that the
so
shop has got going on.
You might notice if you ever come in here, we have these $5 mystery bags, and it's got 20 records in it, and we just kind of like staple it up, and you get what you get. So for this event, and it's going to be going on all weekend, we're going to get all the dollar records that we have and put them all out on tables, and you can make your own mystery bags.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you'll get 20 records. Each record will only be a quarter, and each bag is $5. So you
Man,
can kind of make your
that's
own mystery
decent.
bags. Anything's $1, including cassettes, 7 inches, everything. Anything's $1. You get 20 items for $5.
Too bad records weren't like cassette tapes because, you know, back in the day when I bought cassette tapes and stuff, like if you wanted to record something over it, you could.
Yeah.
So like, too bad records aren't like that because an artist like this, he could buy a bunch for 25 cents and then just record his music over it. There you go, you got vinyl.
That's cheating. Be recording it off the radio. So I
Rewritable
just
record.
listed here some of the dollar records that I might pick up.
Oh, there's you got some good ones in here. Yeah.
Bob James and David Sanborn, Double Vision, classic album.
Classic.
Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass Band, always great.
I mean, what is this album number 30 or?
Yeah, I was gonna say I put the Beat of the Brass, but we have like 10 of their albums,
Yeah.
all for $1.
You can
they're
go
super
to
common.
You can go to Goodwill, and they're not $1 there. I think they're like $2 or $3. But anyway, you can go to Goodwill and Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass. I mean, you could be flipping through them for days. There's like 50.
Yeah.
It's like they're all different. You're like, man, how many albums this guy put out?
And it's weird because I dig Herb Alpert a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
it's great music, but there's just so many of them. That's
so
why
many of
that's why they're only $1.
Yeah. All of his fans are broke, dead broke, just from buying his album.
Yeah. Jimmy Smith, Stranger in Paradise. Yes, Going for the One.
Classic.
Joan Baez, One Day at a Time. Emmylou Harris, Pieces of the Sky. Chris Christopherson, The Silver-Tongued Devil and I.
Legendary
Those are just the
singer-songwriter
ones
right
I
there.
picked out, yeah. So yeah, you can get any of those records for a quarter if you come down this weekend and make your own mystery bag.
That's a great, great deal.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you gonna come down?
Hope to, yeah.
All right.
That's a great, great deal.
Awesome. Well, thanks again to Jack Grelle for joining us on the show.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Please go to his show this weekend,
Please
Friday
do
night.
it. Please do it.
Off Broadway, only 10 or 12 bucks. You got Dead Wax Records. What's the name of the whiskey company again?
Switchgrass Spirits.
Switchgrass Spirits. I
That's a
definitely
cool
want to go
name.
try that. Yeah. And then Dusk, and then Jack Grelle.
Love it.
All playing Friday night. Go check it out.
Love it.
Thanks for tuning in to the Vinyl Hustle. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you.